Welcome to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yael Keown, mum, FIFO wife, MBA, coffee lover, survivor superfan, and creator of the email experience. In Easy Email Marketing, you'll benefit from my nearly 20 years experience, where I'll be teaching you all the tips, tricks, and insider info on how to create feel-good, non-spammy experiences for your subscribers. Let's get stuck in. Welcome back to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yael Keown, and after a brief break, I am back and I am ready to really talk some email. We are just coming out of our summer school holidays here, so that has been one thing. But I've also been blessed with a ton of client work, which also happens to land at once, as it often does, and deadlines seem to be at the same time. It's been great, deep work, which I love. But I have this thing where as I get into it, I get ideas and I think of possibilities and I just think of all the different ways and different layers we can use email marketing to help this client and make just their life easier or help them get more sales, all of that stuff. And sometimes it involves, diving deeper into data or setting up this new automation or this extra thing. So everything takes me a little bit longer than I estimate, but I love it at the same time. So it's been a bit hectic. Luckily, hubby has been home as primary parent for much of the past few weeks, but I am definitely looking forward to some more routine as the kids have returned to school. And I admit, I definitely need to work on setting myself up with more realistic estimates of how long projects will take me because I go deep and that's just me. Anyway, much of that client work has actually been the inspiration behind this episode because what I find happens is I get clients come to me wanting to set up their email marketing or migrate across software or just tidy everything up for them so that they know that their emails are going to the right people. Maybe they want to have their templates updated and refreshed to a new brand. Maybe some of this DNS stuff has caused some deliverability issues and they need that fixed. Or they just know that their existing welcome series has some issues and they just want things to be updated. And somebody's told them at some stage that email marketing is important. So it's just something that they do. So they come to me with this idea about, I need to send out my monthly newsletter to only this group. And I have this welcome series set up and everyone gets that. And so that's what I need. But then what happens is I get stuck in and asking some questions. Questions like, okay, but what happens in scenario A versus scenario B, C, D? Or like after someone signs up, what exactly is it that you want them to buy or do? You'd be surprised how little there are call to actions in some of these emails when I first come to them. Or asking things like after someone purchases from your shop or books an appointment, what do you need them to know about the process? Is there forms they need to fill out? Do they need to prepare themselves in some way? Or for purchasing, a product, what is it that they need to do to get the most out of that product? I ask things like, do you have admin things you are doing on the back end to deliver on your promises? And things like, what systems are you using to take payments or book appointments? And again, all of these, every single one of these often leads to, but it is this like this percent of the time, but it can also do this. And we end up in this deep dive conversation. I actually need to understand how the full business processes work because email marketing touches on everything. Now, initially, they are very confused about this. And you might be too as you listen to me because they're just like, but we just need to send an email. We need to send out our email newsletters. And that's a start, that gets me in the door. But soon, what happens is they start getting these light bulb moments of, wait, you mean email can do that admin step for me automatically? So we don't need to manually do that anymore? Or so I can send different emails to different people based around whether they did this or they did that, or they're a client or they're not, or a customer or not, or what product they purchased, or, so I can help bridge this major drop-off point in the sales journey. Like people are great until a certain point and then, that we struggle to get them back there or to win them back after a certain stage. And circling back to where I began this chat, as I start to implement, they get these ideas. So they're like, oh yeah, I thought of this scenario too. Can we put this in? But even worse or better, depending on how you look at it, I get ideas. I identify the scenarios and I want to add in all the layers and possibilities to make their life easier. And ultimately, most of the time I need to go, Yale, pause. What was the scope of the project? Any recommendations we can list out, and we can talk about adding them in later on. We need to deliver on this core stuff first. But often, I will go around and I'll just end up taking all this extra time. And then at the same time, when I finally get that moment, when I'll get for that distraction and I log on to Facebook or Instagram and I see all these ads around the super duper all-in-one marketing system solutions that do it all. So you know the ones that talk about, you know, the ultimate system with this sales funnel and landing pages and analytics, and it will do everything for you, AI. Because I see them and I go, but your email marketing system does that for you. Most of the things that these systems promise, it does. You just need to know the possibilities. So here, in this, after that big intro, I just want to present some of these possibilities to you in a single podcast episode, and how email marketing really is your complete sales and delivery system. You just need to know how to use it. So I've got 8 different ways, 8 different things that your email marketing strategy and your system should be able to do for you. And if you are not doing all of these things, then you are missing out big time. The first thing is, it should be able to generate highly targeted leads. That is the crux of it. Email marketing is all about leads and sales. So we need to get those leads, those subscribers from the beginning. So highly targeted means obviously these are going to be people, we only want people on our email lists who are going to be interested in ultimately buying. So we want to get these highly targeted leads through lead magnets, through promoting in the right place and getting them onto our list. Then the second thing it should be able to do is to warm those leads up so they can make an informed decision about whether you are the right fit for them, whether they're going to buy or not. Now, I'm talking informed decision here. I'm not talking pressured decision. I'm not talking, all that FOMO stuff. We are using it as a tool so they can go, yeah, that is right for me. Or sometimes it's not even an informed decision about whether to buy or not. It's what to buy. What's the best option? The third thing email marketing should be able to do for you is to convert those leads to sales, of course. So that can happen through that process. That can happen through promotions. It can happen through all sorts of back-end automations on autopilot. So that's where you hear these promises about, sales funnels and all this wonderful stuff. Yes, it can absolutely do that for you. But I love to use it in combination with also one-on-one sales as well. So you can use your email marketing software to tell you who are the most likely leads to convert to a sale. And then you can choose to focus your one-on-one energy or one-on a small group energy on that group of people. The fourth thing it should be able to do for you, and this is often forgotten, is to provide great customer service and onboarding. What happens after someone buys from you? Yes, you will have your transactional things go out, your booking confirmations, your receipts, etc. They're handled by the other software. But what are those customer service questions that you get asked all the time about your products? Or what is it that your clients need to know before that first session? What is it that your members or students need to know about onboarding into their courses or getting support? Now, this is an area that I see a lot of people and a lot of businesses doing a lot of manual work or one-on-one work. Now, there is a time and place for that, but we use this like the converting leads to sales thing. We use it in combination. So we got our more that everyone gets this, or everyone who does scenario A gets this, everyone who does scenario B gets this, and so on. But then also that can be backed up with the one-on-one things when and where necessary. The fifth thing email marketing should do for you is to keep subscribers and customers engaged so they keep coming back for more. So yes, this includes your newsletters, and you can't hear that I'm using quotation marks here, but that's, keeping them engaged, keeping them in your world, keeping on reminding them that you exist, that you're here to help, or what's on offer, or what other products, what's come out new. But also your customers as well, they might come back again in future. Or if you've got different stages that someone works with you, or different packages, etc., and that people logically move from one thing to another thing, you can make sure you're helping bridge that gap and you're sending automated emails out that explain those next steps, that do that well in advance, so it's not just a big surprise. We can talk about that even more. Number 6, your email marketing software should be integrated with key systems like your e-commerce checkouts and your calendars, your forms. I'm a big believer in the more information, the better when it comes to your email marketing. But some of this is just at a really basic level, even if you just had a couple of key things in here, like firstly, knowing who's a customer or not, who's a client or not, because you'll automatically be talking about them in different ways. But then the layer of what type product category did they purchase from? Because that can start to tell you, okay, which things are we going to sell to them? What are they most likely interested in? What type of appointment did they book? When was their last appointment? When is their next appointment? Has it been a while? Do we want to send them a reminder to say, hey, come back because it's been a while? What is it that we can do? Where are these drop-off points? So getting this information in, having it integrated and on autopilot, again, means you don't need to be typing things in manually and all of that. It just happens for you. The 7th thing email marketing should be able to do for you is to provide qualitative market research insights so you know where to focus your energy. So I am not talking about creating huge epic surveys and trying to get your audience to complete those, because we know people don't, have the time to invest in those. What I am a big believer in is micro market research. And this is where we just ask questions, but it's qualitative questions. So it's getting more feedback about, what their challenges are, what their frustrations are, what they're interested in, what their aspirations are, what they prefer out of your product ranges. All of that stuff, we can use qualitative research and identify those things through both asking directly, using polls, using like one question surveys embedded in emails, or just doing simple things like looking at your data in terms of the topics and what type of emails are working where, what topics are people interested in. Qualitative market research insights. And then finally, the 8th thing that email marketing should be able to do for you is to provide you quantitative data. One of the things I really, really love about email marketing is once you grasp it, once you have a system set out and you've got numbers, you can then start doing your marketing maths and figure out exactly how much every single subscriber on your list is worth. You can figure out how many percent of your audience will convert to a sale via this sequence. So you can work backwards and go, you know what, I can afford to invest in ads because I know I will make X amount of profit on this person, on this thing. It helps you identify gaps and think, okay, you know what, this type of email isn't working. This sequence is not working anywhere near as well as this one, or this email is not working as well as this one. There is so much data there, quantitative, that you can use. Also things like, okay, I know this percent of my audience fits in this category and this percent fits in that. You start getting those numbers. You can start then predicting exactly what's going to happen. You start getting that level of comfort and you know what to improve and what to leave well alone because it is working for you. This is probably just the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure there is more than these 8 ways that email marketing helps you. I'll probably think of another one as soon as I clock off this. But I just wanted to take this moment to just help you realize and I guess get on my soapbox and say, It's not just sending emails. It's not just sending newsletters. It's not even sales funnels. It is a business system. So let's quickly recap those 8 things. Firstly, generating highly targeted leads. Secondly, warming those leads up so they make an informed decision to buy or not. Third, convert those leads to sales, either on autopilot or through one-on-one. 4, provide great customer service and onboarding. 5, keep your subscribers and customers engaged so they keep coming back for more. 6, integrated with key systems. 7, provide qualitative market research insights. And 8, provide you quantitative data. Doesn't that all sound a little bit familiar to those amazing systems you see advertised? I sense the sarcasm in my voice. Or, on the other side, all the promises of that some consultancies can do all of this for you, or the sales pitches you get from the big CRM companies that, really that's not made for the smaller businesses that I work with. That's what some of this pressure of coming into the modern age of marketing puts on you, thinking you need the latest fandangled toy, but really it's been under your nose the whole time. But there's a flip side too. There's people who think, okay, you need to hire a full team of sales, marketing, and admin professionals to do the work of all of this. But you could automate so many of these steps, systemize so many of these steps, get data so you're not wasting your time on things that just aren't working. And then when you do employ someone, obviously they are much more effective because they don't need to do all these things. They can focus on that top 20%, the 80-20 rule, that 20% of clients that are going to convert when you're going to get a salesperson, or the admin responding to those 20% of scenarios or inquiries that need that special extra touch, instead of doing 100% of the work. Let email marketing do the 80% first there too. And you definitely, if you're a team of one, you don't need to do all this manual follow-up work yourself or put it on your list that you need to do all of these things. What if instead you just, instead of doing all that stuff manually, I'm just going to replace that time with 20 minutes, an hour a week to just set it up so it's done for today, but also the next time too. Suddenly, email doesn't become this tedious task you need to do once a month but what it becomes is the backbone of your business and how does everything comes together and how everything gets easier. Okay, rant completed. If you are intrigued to know more, I'm going even deeper on all of this in my new free upcoming masterclass called Your Untapped Sales Machine. 5 quick win strategies to unlock the power of your email list. So it's happening Monday, 24th of February. It's in the morning Perth time in Perth, Australia. Sunday evening for New York. I know probably the timing doesn't work super well for Europe, but if you do register, there will be a replay available. Obviously, I would love to have you live so we can talk through these ideas. But I'm going to go through all of these strategies that we've talked about today, showcasing how email marketing really is all about sending the right messages to the right people at the right time. I'll show you the real strategy behind how this all works. I'll help you understand, the thinking behind it, and I will show you some really specific quick win tricks because we love all of those, like things like a quick tweak that you can make to increase your email list signups by 25%. How to send more emails that are highly personalized without writing 5 versions of the same thing. How to get more sales from your regular emails without turning everything into a sales pitch. How to identify those hottest leads to follow up with, so not everyone's feeling bombarded with the same sales messages. And streamlining your product, service, or program delivery with minimal admin intervention. Most of these quick wins are like 5-minute setup tasks, but we have to understand how it works first. So if you are keen, make sure to register at yaelkeown.com/untapped. You can check that link out in bio. Not in bio, in the show notes. Look at me, I'm really now off the rails. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'd love to hear your thoughts from this episode, and if you've had any aha moments, do let me know over on Instagram. I'm at Yael Keown, that's all one word, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Easy Email Marketing. It's an absolute honour that you chose to listen. If you love this episode, then it would mean the world to me if you could leave a review so that others can find this podcast and make their email marketing easy too. Finally, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a thing. Until next time, have an awesome day and make sure to keep showing up and serving in those inboxes.